These are the most awful multiple choice questions that ever existed in the entire world. All right, the Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and then you got to pick out which ones are true because it's like 7 or 8 questions all in one. All right, what makes a parallelogram into a rhombus? Okay, so let's see. Perpendicular diagonals, right there. Okay, one is definitely true, so I know that one's out. Diagonals bisect the angles from which they are drawn. So the diagonals cut the angles in half. That's also definitely true. That's a rhombus thing. All right. So that's out. So it's either 1 or it's 4. Then you have this diagonals form congruent right isosceles triangles. This is a super, super evil thing to write. Okay. Because if I draw a rhombus, okay, and I go through and I'm like, all right, well, those are all the same. Those are right angles. These two are the same because they get cut in half, and those two are the same because they get cut in half. Guess what? Those are not right isosceles triangles. So I'm like, it's not 3. And when this was on the test, this is a June exam from, I don't know, a handful of years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, depending on when you're listening to this. I remember being like, it's not that one. And then I came back to it at the end, and I'm like, they play games with these. And I was like, what makes isosceles right triangles? And I thought, wait a second, a square does. All right, so here's a square. The diagonals cut each other in half, but they're also the same. And then the diagonals are perpendicular because, remember, it steals everything. So there I have 4 congruent right isosceles triangles. All right. A square is a rhombus. So if that was happening, it would make it be a square, which would make it be a rhombus, which means the answer is 4. It is one of the most evil questions ever placed in the Regents exam. Okay, because it's taking this minor case that you're not going to think of. It's asking you about a rhombus, not a square. All right. So that should not be something that they're asking on the Regents exam, but they do. All right. There's nothing that I can personally do about it. So we just have to be ready. You see these Roman numeral questions? Number 1, save them. Do part of it, write notes down, be like, I know 1's true, I know 2 is true, but I'm not sure about 3, and come back to it later. All right, because you can spend a very, very long time on these questions and waste so much time that could be spent on literally anything else trying to get it right.